All right, let's take a look at the market. We'll look at the weekly, the daily, my trade, and the intraday charts too for the trades of the day. Now here on the weekly chart, you can see the candlestick has rebounded significantly. So the range for the week is 130. That hasn't really changed too much. And the all-time high today, this week I should say, is 5066.5. And as I said yesterday, we don't really know if this is a peak and we're going to pull down yet. We got to wait to see what next week does. So we're kind of waiting here to get some confirmation whether or not this is it, or is it going to continue checking up? Okay. Again, I do expect to see, I would think, as I said yesterday, I would expect to see price to begin to decline here on the weekly chart, because we know we're not too far removed. Maybe like, a month. It could go up actually. Yeah. Well, not even a month. Not even a month, because we'll see that on the daily that there's some dates kind of in the middle of March for a decline. So, another week, maybe something like this could even already be started. This is not unreasonable, as I said yesterday, to think that this might be the beginning of a decline coming down into this area here. Okay, there's some support right there that I think is possible. We could come down to hit some of these supports, especially this one I think is, trying to think what we hit yesterday. Can't remember. It definitely wasn't this number. But I do think this number is probably very realistic at minimum. And this one here is also very probable, at least from where the high is right now. Because that's about, a little more than 300 points, right? Let's just call it 300 plus 66 minus 2, 364 points approximately to get down here. Yeah, I think that's also reasonable if we don't go higher. If we go higher than this, you might see some, like this might become support if we start going even higher than this, right? But for right now, those are kind of the supports that I think are realistic. Okay, let's look at the daily. All right, before we look at the daily, here is my trade of the day, or trades. I made $1,012.50. I'm trading 3 contracts at a time per position. So obviously 15 divided by 3 is 5. So I had 5 different trades today. That's okay. It's, I like to trade a little less than that. 3 trades of the day would be kind of like my maximum, what I like to see. But this was not bad. As always, I also like to talk about just, kind of how the day went and what my goals are whenever I'm doing these kind of reviews of, my profits for the day. I had a big, mistake this morning. I was pretty certain that the market was going to reach the 50-hour simple moving average and probably get rejected, which it did. It got rejected pretty hard off the 50-hour. And I was watching the hourly chart that streams live for the members, because obviously I watch it too. And there's also the 15-minute chart and the 5-minute chart. I was watching all the charts, which, by the way, if you're interested in becoming a member, stick around to the end of the video and I'll show you how to do that, okay? But anyway, I was watching the hourly chart and I had a good sense that there was going to be a rejection at the 50-hour simple moving average. But I had a meeting this morning, so I jumped in early, which was a big mistake, and I was down quite a bit, significantly down. And I had to close the position at a really, just not a good loss. And then there was opportunity later in the day, and I was able to obviously recover and make $1,000. But, I talked about this yesterday. I'm going to talk about it again today. My goals, especially on a day like today, really should have been like a 3K day. That's very realistic, And, I'm blessed. The job's a great job and all, but I'm I've talked about this before. My goals are to not have to work full-time job anymore and just trade full-time. And I'm on this precipice, right? Just for me personally, I'm stuck between working this full-time job. I shouldn't say stuck, but I'm on the fence. Do I continue working a full-time job or do I trade full-time? On the days that I'm trading, I'm making way more trading than I am at my job. So I can just hear people saying, well, then what are you waiting for? Why don't you just quit the job? Just a little background. I work in software development and I've been doing it for many decades. And, I've tried to quit probably at least 2 times before, maybe even 3 times. I can't remember exactly how many times to try to get out of just to get out of software development and just not go back to it. But every time I've had to return back to it, and write code again. And, after 40 years of doing this, it just, I've had it, I'm worn out on it. I don't want to do it. My goals are to move forward in life and say, see ya, let the young crowd do the software development. That's fine by me. I'm very interested in trading full time, and I have obviously the membership is a small business that's running, and it's doing okay. It could do a lot better, but it's doing okay. I have some goals for that too, to try to get it to grow. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at on my goals, kind of riding the fence here between, do I continue working a job or do I trade full time? And this morning it definitely got me, because I got stuck in a meeting, and, despite what people think, yes, you can have stop losses and you can have trailing stops, all this stuff, but it's not the same. When you're trading intraday, which people call day trading, the best way to do this is to be actively on the charts, ready to roll at any moment. That is the absolute best way, because I've been doing this a long time, and you really want to be super reactive to the market, especially intraday, especially that morning session. It's almost always very busy, and there's a lot of opportunity in the morning. Afternoon as well, but anyway, so that's kind of the background of what happened here today. It was a 3K day that I had to recover just to get back up to $1,000. I was down quite a bit, and these are just mistakes that, probably what I should have done in hindsight is just don't enter the market at all. Because you're in a meeting. I was in the meeting and I couldn't pay attention to the market. So, a little bit of a lesson learned, but it's tough sitting there in a meeting, and for your job, you're looking over at the charts and you're thinking to yourself, my goodness, what the heck am I doing in a meeting? There's thousands of dollars sitting over there on the charts, Right. So pray for me, right? So I can make this transition. And I honestly believe if I can make this transition, which I believe is going to happen, eventually, I believe the membership is going to benefit from it too, because any code that I do decide to write will be my own code that's for my own business that benefits the members, and it's not for some corporation that's giving me a paycheck, right? There's a big difference, yeah. Okay, let's get back to the charts. We'll talk about the daily and the intraday charts. All right, so here we are on the daily chart. You can see today was a pretty juicy day. Nice little rebound, 53 3/4 for the total range on the futures here. I told the members last night in the email that I thought today would be a bounce day, and bingo, there it is. Okay, so yesterday I said there was a pretty good chance that we were going to have an inversion and there would be a big drop day. What do you know? We had a big drop day. Pretty amazing. 2 days in a row to absolutely nail exactly what the market's going to do. Do I get that right every day? No, I don't. Nobody's going to get it right every day. And on the emails I send out to the members at night, if I don't have a good sense for the market, I don't say too much. I don't really draw too much on the charts like, hey, the market's going down, because it's better sometimes to say nothing, let the market just do its thing, and then you can kind of analyze the market and get a feel about what it's going to do, in addition to some other data that I collect. But these 2 days were absolutely spot on. The emails for both days were just absolutely humming. Nailed the analysis for both of these days. So like I said, if you want to become a member, get the net. And some people just, some of the members only just read the emails. They don't have time to look at streaming charts. They're probably working jobs, raising kids, doing whatever they do. So they just want the emails. And if that's you, that's great. You can join, okay? And you can just get the emails if you want. And sometimes the emails are just, smoking hot. I mean, really accurate. I'm working with some data that I collect every day. And sometimes that data can be a little bit tricky to interpret it, but the last couple of days have been really good. Hello, phone. Just in time to interrupt my video. All right, let's move on to, okay, so my thoughts about this. Well, you can see the supports here. Okay, I'm not going to discuss with the public what I think tomorrow's going to do, because like I said, that's reserved for members. But, overall, I do think, going out into, as we go out this way into the future, there could be a cycle low here on the February 25th. We'll keep an eye on that. March 19th over here. Okay, these two here. And then there's another one out here that's just not showing right there, but I think it's April 11th. Okay. So those are the cycles on the daily chart. All right. On the weekly we saw, it was kind of like week of March 31st. So, anything can happen during this time. Like, it could start coming down really hard. This might just get up here tomorrow, maybe test the all-time high again. Who knows? Not really sure. And then starts coming down. If it blasts off and get above the all-time high, then of course we're going to have to think about, I'll probably trim off some of the lower support lines and move the support up. Okay, we're always reacting to the market, guys and gals. A lot of people, just want to pause here for a moment, talk about something. A lot of people, when they're either, they're paying for a service, let's say like my service or any other service that people have. There's not a whole lot of good services out there. I'm just going to be honest. There's one or two out there that I really like, that I think they do a good job. In addition to my service here. But one thing I notice about people is they pay for a service and they expect the service to be absolutely flawless, right? And I don't just mean me. I've seen the same thing with other services and comments and YouTube videos and people that have a service that they're providing to their customers regarding the marketplace, right? And this is kind of a common theme that customers are like, well, I'm paying for this, so it better be doggone right, and it better be right all the time. And some people are like that. Other people are more reasonable and understand that's just not plausible, right? But for those people that think that way, I mean, you're living in a fantasy land. Okay, I'm just gonna on this for my business and my videos, and when I talk with my members on the Discord server, I just keep it straight and plain and simple and honest. Okay, there isn't going to be any service that ever gets it 100% right. It's never going to happen. If you're looking for that, forget about it. You shouldn't join any service. You shouldn't pay for anything because you're always going to be disappointed. Because think about that. That's an insane expectation for a membership service to always get the call in the market right all the time, every day. Okay, it's just totally unrealistic. Because think about the people who are running those services. Like I'm running this service. If I was right 100% of the time, I probably wouldn't have a service, right? I'd just be trading. Like if I knew that like the last 100 trading days, that every day I absolutely smashed a home run, would I bother with a $7.99 membership to customers? I mean, I might, just if I'm the kind of guy that wants to help people out, I might do it. But you know what I'm saying? That's a maybe, but I probably wouldn't. Because I'd just be busy doing other huge projects, other things in life, right? Because I'd be I'd probably be, if not a billionaire, I'd certainly be like a 10 or 100 millionaire, right? But just think about that for a second. The whole world can't be profitable. Like everybody can't be profitable because then everybody would be on the same playing field. As much as people don't want to acknowledge it, that's the real truth. Some people are not as profitable and successful as others. That may seem unfair, but that's the reality of the world. That's how it works. I've talked about this before. What ideological or economical platform or system would I want to be a part of? Well, capitalism. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than socialism or communism or all the other isms. Okay. So don't have unrealistic expectations about any service, whether you're going to join my service or any other service. It's not realistic to assume that the service is always going to nail it. That's just totally unrealistic. Okay. What a good service is going to do is going to get it right often, and they're going to go with the odds. They're going to go with what the greatest probabilities are for success. That's what I do. You see me making $1,000 a day most days, right? I had a bad day last week. I had a pretty bad day last week. Lost a few $1,000. Okay. But I didn't like it, but I didn't sit on the sidelines for a year and pout and cry about it. You got to get back to trading because I know that over the long run, I make more money than I lose. It wasn't always that way, but nowadays it is. And I'm grateful for that, of course. So I'm giving you kind of a reality check to those people that are out there that, that they're looking for the perfect service. They're jumping around from service to service. They're going from one YouTube to the other. They're looking for any little thing that's going to make them the millionaire tomorrow. That just doesn't exist. Okay, it doesn't exist. And I said this before. Are there a few people in the world that hit home run hits and become millionaires like really quick? Yeah, but they're the few, man. They're like very few people do that. Okay? What you want to do is become an excellent trader. You want your skills to be excellent so that you're in control of your own future. Okay, I know someone, I don't want to get too personal because members of my family could be listening to this, watching this video. But there's someone I know in the family that, without mentioning names, that believes they should live poor. They honestly believe that. They believe they should live poor because by living poor, they help other people. And I'm just like shaking my head. What kind of nonsense BS is that? That is so untrue. That person is so delusional. If you're poor, how can you possibly help other people? You can't. You got nothing to give. Well, whatever I don't have, I just automatically assume other people get in it. Well, you're assuming wrong. Socialist communist nations where 95% or more of the people are poor and only like 1, 2, or maybe 5% of the people are wealthy. Guess what they're doing? They're stealing them. They're stealing all the productivity or the money and the riches from the 95% so they can live high on the hog, as we say here in Texas. That's the real truth, because that's base human nature. It's selfish. That's the reality of human nature. So, when I hear people say, well, we live poor, we live low, really low, we intentionally live poor, but that helps other people. That is so untrue. It's just the opposite, folks. Let me give you a little lesson here. Now, I'm a Christian, and many of my members know that, and I don't make any bones about it, and I don't make any excuses about it, and I don't care if people like it or not. That's part of my decision in my life, and I'm happy to live that kind of life, okay? It gives me strength and hope and all the great things that come along with it, all right? But I can guarantee you that if you're doing well, now among the Christian circles, we call that being blessed. But even if you don't want to use that kind of language and you're just saying, I'm doing really well in life. My health is good. I feel good. My soul feels great. Internally, I feel good. Okay, financially, I'm doing really well. Okay, if everything's going really well, guess what that does? Guess what kind of position that puts you in? That it puts you in a position to help other people. Now, of course, not everybody lives their life like that. Some people choose to not help other people. It's all about them. It's all about me, me, and me. Okay, that's kind of a selfish life. I try to refrain from living like that. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I try to refrain from living like that, okay? There's an old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats, okay? I had a pastor friend of mine that says this frequently, and he's right. Think about it. If you are doing well, you're in a position to help other people to do well. That might be family members, that might be friends, that might be complete strangers, whatever it is, it makes no difference. Okay? So I don't subscribe to this. If I live a really poor, wretched life, I should just say a poor life, that automatically that means other people are doing well. That is so untrue. That is not, I don't believe that's what best is. I think if you have a lot of money in life, you got to be careful about your motives and your attitude, of course. You could just be selfish, like I said, or you could choose to share that, okay, in a way that I believe is in alignment with what God wants us, what God really wants us to be doing. That's part of being a Christian anyway. It's not just about helping other people. There's a lot more to it than that, but that part of it is important. So if you're one of those people that believes that money's a bad thing, money's not a bad thing. It's what the person does with the money that can be bad. Okay, and for those that want to know, some of you don't really care about this, and that's fine. You can just choose not to watch the video or turn it off or mute it or whatever. But for those that want to know, the Word of God tells us that the root of all evil is the love of money. Do you notice that? It didn't say money is the root of all evil. It said the love of money is. And this is an extremely valuable lesson. And I had to kind of navigate this idea, this precept, if you will, that came from God for many years of my life. Okay. So your perspective about money is extremely important. It can either make or break you as a trader and financially in life, how you perceive money. Okay, you can't go around being selfish with it and hold on to it like, That is a toxic way to live life. Okay, don't love the money because you can't take it with you when you're going to the grave. Okay, you just utilize it, and you should be putting it to good work to do a lot of great, amazing things. Okay. So I wanted to share that because that's an important, that kind of idea and that precept or that concept is important. If you can get a hold of that idea about your finances in general, especially about trading, it's going to make you a much better trader. I said this to a member not too long ago. Don't hold on to the money so tight that, like, you know, that you got to have it at no matter what. You got to have it no matter what. That's just like unhealthy. You have to change your perspective about money, and that kind of frees you up. And then it also has an impact on how you trade. Okay. All right, so let's switch over and finish up this video. I know it got kind of a little bit long-winded, but I want to share some of those ideas that I know work in my life. So we're going to switch over to the intraday charts and finish up this video. All right, so here we are on the 15-minute chart. There's some good trades on the 5-minute chart too, but we're going to look at this one. Look at this trade over here. This was last night, basically, right around exactly at midnight. Look at that. Okay. That was just amazing. That's 10, that's 20, that's 30. That's about 35 points from there to there. So again, if you only catch like 27 of this, 25 even, huge, monstrous profits, okay, from late last night. The other one that's on this chart, which is also really good, is this one right here. This came in at 12.15 today. Look at this alert, guys. This is the Get Us Plus indicator getting triggered right here at 12.15 in the purple candlestick, and it was off to the races. Just banging. Look at this thing. Okay. Just smoking hot. I mean, look at that. That came in, even if you got in up here a little bit late, 49.90, and it just basically ran out of gas at 50.20. My goodness, right? 10, 20, 30 points. Just wow. So you had about 25 to 30 points here, and then another 25 to 30 points here. I'm telling you, man, you know, now that the way I look at the market today compared to the way I used to look at it, I mean, this is about $2,000. I'm going to be conservative here. It's more than that, but I'm going to say 2,000, and this is 2,000 once your account gets to a certain place, okay? This is like easily a $4,000 day if you're just like doing a binge trade, right? You're just binging on trading, right? That's what it is. This is 2K over here easy. It's really more, but I'm just going to play it super conservative, and this is 2K over here too, okay? Of course, that has to do with account size, right, and position size and all that. But you just scale it down, right? This is 3 contracts. This is more realistically about 3,000. This is about 3,000. But I'm just being conservative, okay? This is about 3 E-minis, anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 worth of profit right here if you just binge traded. You know, no one's going to be able to stay up all these hours, but you get my point, right? If your account just, you know, I talked about this the other day, and I'll finish up the video with this. You got to get the spreadsheets out, and you got to know the numbers. And you got to be able to pick the product that fits your account size. If you're trading futures like I do, maybe it's E-mini if your account's big enough. If not, it's the micros. If you can't even do the micros, then you're probably looking at stock. Or you might be doing futures, but other futures products like you know, E-mini wheat and grains that are really cheap to trade, and some currencies are really cheap to trade. That's a great place to start, okay? All right, so anyway, this is just me looking at this. I'm trying to get members to see that there should be a day on the horizon. That may be a year, maybe 5, maybe 10, how many years down the road on the horizon where your account gets to the place where you're viewing the market just like I'm viewing it right here. You're just seeing thousands of dollars. And you can get there. You have to believe that and keep working towards it, okay? All right, this is pretty much the end of the video. If you want to stick around to the end to know how to become a member, then I'll do that right now. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Okay, so if you stuck around, that's great. You want to become a member. There is a link in the description just below this YouTube video. Make sure you read those instructions very carefully before you join. Once you've done that, click on the Discord link there. It's going to bring you over to this server called Get a Server. Click on Server Shop. It's going to bring you to this page right here, $7.99, guys. Guys and gals, I mean, this is crazy cheap. I've been keeping it cheap. I've said many times I could probably charge $50 and get customers, but I'm just going to keep it there at $8 basically. Take advantage of while you can. There might come a day where I just had enough and I just jack up the price big time, you know. But for now, we're going to keep it at $8. You saw the trades of the day I talked about in the intraday charts. There's 3 of them. There's a 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1 hour. So when you join, click on the stream down here. You'll get the streaming charts. They stream 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, as long as the market's open, obviously. Okay. It's like for instance, this Monday coming up, I think it's Washington's birthday, so I think the market's going to be closed. In addition to the streaming charts, when the Get Us Plus indicator does alert, it sends an alert over here to this channel. So even if you're not watching this stream, the streaming charts, you can still get alerted by right-clicking on this channel right here and turning notifications on. Super nice. Okay, same thing for all these guys here. All right. These don't have streaming charts, but they do have alerts. So the streaming charts is just on the S&P 500, right? Because you can't stream everything. It's impossible to stream all these products. Okay. All right, premium symbols, really nice. You can check out the symbols I put in there every day at the end of the day. It includes some future symbols, some options, symbols that have options, I should say, and some other symbols in there that are really nice. Okay. In here, I post every day, Monday through Thursday, the video like the one I'm doing now. So this is a read-only channel. It's really only for me, but you can go in there, click on the link, watch the video. And also, I notify the members when the emails go out every night, Monday through Thursday. So speaking of emails, if you want to get on the email list, after you become a member, put your email into this emails only channel. I'll pick it up. And you'll get an email Monday through Thursday, which is going to include the daily chart of the S&P 500, which has the cycles on there, and they usually have some support. They might have some resistance depending on what the market's doing, okay? Really nice. A lot of people just sign up just for the email. Okay, solar activity, yep, believe it or not, it has a lot to do with how the market trades and what the world does. This is weird as that sounds. It's true. Fixed income, I do trade corporate bonds. As a matter of fact, I just bought a corporate bond for my 401k, I think last week in another account. So sometimes I'll put it in here. I think I actually put it in there, the bond that I bought. Okay. And I tend to go for bonds that are at a discount. Okay, and then these 2 channels are just general chat. So everything in this rectangle is for the $7.99, everything I mentioned in here, okay? All right, just real quick, the rules. You got to read the rules, guys and gals, okay, when you come on the server. There's the be nice and play nice with everybody else rules. Okay, I don't tolerate nasty pictures and nasty language and all that stuff, not on this server. If you're doing it, I'm going to warn you. If you keep doing it, I'm going to kick you, and eventually I might ban you, okay? So don't do that. Also in here is the refund rules and the disclaimers in here as well, that I'm not a financial advisor. Everything you're hearing and watching on this video is opinion only. Everything on this server is opinion only. Okay, I don't give advice. All right, I think that pretty much covers it, guys and gals. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.